Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Can't believe it's July already and time for me to run through another new release. But first of all, I just wanted to talk about Christmas because I know a lot of you have been watching Christmas shows on Hobby Maker and looking at all the new releases from other craft companies for Christmas this year. And I just wanted to let you know that I haven't forgotten about Christmas. As always, we always try and do something that is usable year round. So we will have a Christmas release coming. It's going to be on our September Hobby Maker show, and then we've got a couple of little extra Christmassy bits just after that as well. Hopefully that'll be more than enough time for you to make your Christmas cards and so on. But the thought of doing it while we've got a heat wave is just kind of a bit alien for me. So I wanted to just continue with the releases that I'd planned and bring to you our Christmas release in September, which I've already done one sneaky peek on social media. I might do some more as we go forward. There are some very Christmas designs, but as is always the case with our Christmas, we try to make it so that you can use it year round. So there will be elements that, although they're designed for Christmas, they can be used at different points. I also just wanted to mention our summer pouch that was on our last release. It was so popular, and I'm so sorry that I didn't have enough stock on Hobby Maker. And then also when it went for sale on our website, it sold out. I restocked again and it sold out again. So we are looking to bring that back again. And of course, our autumn pouch will be released probably on Hobby Maker in September as well. So we will be continuing, because it was so popular, we'll be continuing with an autumn pouch, a winter pouch, and then a spring pouch as well. So I'm so pleased that you liked that. It was so successful, and I just couldn't believe how many sold and how quickly. So thank you so much for everyone who got that, and apologies to those who missed out. You will find that on our website again shortly. I will pop a post on social media to let you know when that happens. So that's good too. So back to the July release, and this is going to be launched on Hobby Maker on Tuesday the 15th. I think it's the 15th of July, so a week on Tuesday on Hobby Maker with Sharon, and then I'll have a few days to get those orders out before it releases on our website as usual on the Friday evening at 6 p.m. So this is, as I say, it's not a Christmas release. It's a lovely release. I can't wait to show you. So let's get on with it. So we've got, first of all, just one A5 stamp set in this release, and it's Scribbled Daisies 2. Now, some of you may already know that we had a Scribbled Daisies stamp set, which was really popular. It had sketchy kind of florals and some bunnies on it. But I was desperate to do a wreath version of the flowers. So that's what this is all about. So you've got the wreath, which is quite big. Let's just have a look at the size. So it's roughly 11 centimetres, roughly 11.5 maybe. So it's quite sizable, and it's a great backdrop for your characters and stuff. And of course, just because it comes with the bunnies doesn't mean you can't use any of the other characters. As with a lot of our stamps, they all mix and match, so you can use them with whatever. So it's our normal sketchy style, and then you've got some individuals as well. So if you want to build up that wreath and add extra flowers, or if you want to create your own wreath or your own garland, or just the corner of a card or something like that, then the individuals will help you with that. There's also some splats and hearts and different things that you can also add to the wreath ring. I didn't want to put that as part of the design of the wreath because I thought some people might prefer it plain. So these are designed just so that you can add your own extra bits of detail if you want. We've then got the 3 bunnies. So we've got this little one with its eyes closed, having a lovely, well, it could be having a sleep, but it's got a smile on its face, so I think it's just excited about something. And then we've got the 2 rabbits here, one with a bow and one with a cap on. We've got a ladybird, a caterpillar, and a bigger ladybird. And then the sentiments in a kind of typewritery type font, just very standard kind of sentiments. So we've got love you, happy birthday, thanks so much, congratulations, just a note, hugs and kisses, hello, and sending love. So really good for just any occasions, really. So I needed to do this, and then it created a whole extra element of Scribbled Daisies. So you will see now that I have gone a bit mad on the daisies, and I've come up with a paper pad called Denim Daisies, which I'm absolutely loving. So it's got the denim background, and then it's got the daisies on top. So we've had the Scribble Daisies pads before, one on white and one on a craft backdrop, and this is the denim version. So I just love how it worked together. So we've got the rainbow kind of flowers, but I've also, for this pad, because of the denim, I've also popped in just some blue, so slightly more subtle, and I just love the way it's come out. It's just beautiful. And although these could work with your characters, I actually think that there's the option just literally to pop a sentiment on with this, and it's just like an instant card. So as with all our papers, that's back to the beginning now, they're 190 GSM, 30 sheets, 10 designs, printed in the UK, of course. And so that's Denim Daisies, and I just wanted to show you it's a prime example where I've just used the die from our clipboard die set, and you could literally just pop that on the card, on a card base, and job done. So it's such a beautiful paper pad, and as I say, you could use your characters with it, but equally, let's just have a look at one of the, so there's one of the bunnies there. You could easily just pop a character on there and a sentiment or something like that, and it would work well. But because they're quite detailed, they can also provide an instant backdrop just for a sentiment to make a card. So that's Denim Daisies. Now on Hobby Maker, there will be the opportunity to buy the first Scribbled Daisies stamp set for anyone who didn't get it, and also the Scribbled Daisies pad. I then wanted to put together a petite paper. So this is Petite Papers collection 13. Now, somebody mentioned on Facebook that I'd released a collection and I'd missed a couple of numbers out. I just wanted to let you know that I've actually designed so far about, I think, 17 or 18 different petite papers, but they've not all released yet. And obviously, depending on when they're appropriate to release, they might not actually be in number order at this point, but you will eventually get the whole, every number. So this one is collection 13, the Daisies edition, and it's got all the popular papers from our Scribble Daisies collection on white and craft, just for anyone. So these are perfect for anyone that wants to do ATCs, or for people who just want to add a little extra element on the front of their card, or maybe using our clipboard die sets and just pop a little message on there. They're really fun to use. So some of them quite plain, lots of text elements, but lots of the daisies as well. So really lovely. And all our petite papers are on 190 GSM, the same cardstock as the 6x6s, and they are 45 pages, 15 designs, and 3 of each. So that's the collection 13 Daisies edition. Just lovely. So that's that. We then have a die set called Sketchy Foliage, and it's kind of designed to work alongside the Scribbled Daisies, but equally could work on its own or with previous releases, future releases. So it's really just a generic kind of flowery die, but it follows the same theme, the same design as I've done with the Scribbled Daisies. So with this, you get the solids of each of the leaves, the 2 leaves and the flower, and then you get the detailed part as well. So as per the picture on the front there, as with all our dies, the image on the front doesn't reflect the size. It's not to scale at all, but if you turn it over, you can see how big they are. And I just wanted to show you how. So you can either use you can layer them up. So here I've just cut elements out, and if you turn them, you will find that you'll find a point where they roughly match. So you can double them up like that if you want to, or equally you could just use the solids on their own. You could use the sketchy part on their own, or you could even just use them together like so and mix them up and use both at the same time. So that's a Sketchy Foliage die set, and that's going to be, I think, quite a staple on my desk that I will use with lots of different items. So that's Sketchy Foliage. We then have something that's brand new to us, and I've been wanting to do these for a long time, but I haven't got round to it because I haven't found some that are the right quality, and also I just wasn't sure which designs to bring because I wanted something that was universal that would appeal to everybody, and I've come up with this design. These are rub-ons, and in the pack you get 2 sheets, and the idea being that you can use all these individual elements. You can use several on a project, you can just use one little element on a project. So I've tried, as with our stamp sets, to cram as much as possible on here so that you get as much usage as you can. Now you can see there what they look like, and obviously the reason I'm releasing them now is because you've got that Scribbled Daisies design there as well. And I just want to show you how I would use them myself. So with mine, what I tend to do is I cut out the design that I want to use, because if you don't and you pop them onto your page, you might end up with a some of the neighbouring rub-ons kind of coming off at the same time. You don't want to do that, so I just cut mine off like this, and then let's take actually let's just use this paper here. So I'm going to pop this, I'm going to work out where I want to position it. So I'm going to pop mine there, and then you can use all sorts. You could use the end of a paintbrush to pop it down. You could use a bone folder to pop it down. Now in the pack, you just literally get the 2 sheets of rub-ons. I'm the kind of person who keeps anything. So if you get like a rub-on, some of the packs of rub-ons come with a kind of lolly stick with them. If you get that with every pack of rub-ons you have, you end up with a whole collection of them, and I didn't want you to have to pay extra to get that. So just didn't quite get that right. Just need to give it a bit more of a rub. And so what I've done is I've actually ordered in some printed lolly sticks, and I will just literally pop one in each order. So it won't come in the pack of rub-ons. If you order multiple rub-ons, you'll still just get the one lolly stick, because I just feel like you can use anything in your craft room. And like I said, I didn't want you to have to pay extra to receive something that actually you could probably just use, like I say, the bone folder. You could even just use your finger, they come off really well. And then what I do is I just edge it up, and you can see if it's coming off cleanly or not. And I just want to show you how good a quality these are. Just missed that little bit there. This is one of the larger designs in there, obviously. I'm just being a bit careful with how I'm doing it there. So there, you can see how well that's come out. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick it up on the camera, but it is so thin and so delicate and so kind of seamless. You can't even see around the edges very well unless you really look closely. They're just beautiful quality. So that's how you could use that one. And then I just show you can actually do is just add the tiniest little elements. So I'm going to add that one on here. And I'm just going to lift. And there we go. It's come out really, really well. So as I say, something new for us. Never done rub-ons before. And like I said, I didn't want to bring them until I knew exactly how I wanted to do it, like as in which designs, and also I wanted to make sure that I was really, really happy with the quality. So that's the Doodle rub-ons, 2 sheets in a pack, and a kind of A5 size, and like I say, packed with different designs, so you could literally use one little individual element on your project and you've still got all of the rest of them left, plus another sheet. So I hope you have fun with those. I'll be interested to hear what you think. And like I say, I will just pop in a lolly stick in with the orders, just as an added extra. But like I say, you could use anything in your craft room really. You could even use, I mean, honestly, you could use the handle of your scissors, anything at all. So that's the rub-ons. Then we come to kind of like the second part of the release, which is all about, well, it's kind of all about scallops, however you want to say it. And the first stamp set is Egg-cellent. Now, you may remember our Prehistoric Party stamp set. This kind of matches alongside that, but this one's all about the babies in the eggs. And we've got 3 different ones on here. We've got one that's standing, one that's sitting, and one that's hatching. And the sentiments really work well with them. We've got, you've cracked it, well done. New baby, exciting times. Excuse me, you are, and then it's got excellent or excellent news. You crack me up, or it could be you are extra special or extra special news. So lots of mix and match sentiments there, and it could apply for lots of different occasions. And to start with, I kind of thought, oh, this is kind of appropriate for children and so on. But when I got round to colouring these and working with them, I just absolutely fell in love with them. And I think they would be appropriate for lots of different age groups. So I'll show you some examples of that in a minute, but I just want to move on to the next A6 stamp set, which is called Best Fishes. And it'll all become clear. It seems funny having dinosaurs and fish together, but it'll all become clear in a moment. And these fish are so cute. We've got a shark and 3 different fish, and then we've got some bubbles and some seaweed and hearts and so on. And we've got the sentiments, best fishes, just keep swimming, fantastic news, and you are officially the best. And these are real fun to colour. And then this element here actually matches with something that's coming up in a minute. So I'll explain that one as I get to it. And then the third one is called Otterly Amazing. Again, you can see the fishes kind of overlapping there. So that's the 3 different stamp sets. And in this one, you've got 2 different otters and you've got 2 different size fishes. And then you will notice that what we've done on here is the same as with other stamp sets previously, where you've actually got a gap in the fishing rod and the rush, they call bulrushes or something, and the flower as well. And the idea is that his hand will fit in that gap. So you can literally stamp the otter and it can be holding the fishing rod, it can be holding this, or it can be holding this. So you choose how you want to design that. And then we've got the sentiments on this one are: love you, you're utterly amazing, utterly adore you, you're really great, you're a catch, special times, and I love you. And I just want to show you. So there's an example of where the otter is holding the bulrush. I think that's what they're called. So you can see that there. And on this one, he's holding the fishing rod, and I've just popped the fish on the end. So you can obviously choose which fish you pop on there. So really, really cute. So the idea behind these is that the fishes kind of follow on through this set and this set, but also then you've got the dinosaurs, and they've all kind of work with the papers I've got coming and also something else in a moment. So I will show you the next elements, and then hopefully it will all kind of fall into place why we've put those 3 stamp sets together. So we have the first paper pad is called Under the Sea, and obviously this is for the fishes, and it's really soft kind of watercolory designs. You can see the scallops coming out there again, scallops, however you want to say it. Different shades, but with the same kind of underwater feel with the seaweed. So these would be great to pop your fishes or your shark on. And as with all our pads, they're on 190 GSM. There's the scallops again, and you can see that that matches the scallops on here. You see that? So yeah, 190 GSM, and they are, so this is designed to be under the water, just to explain, but also you could use that as a beach. So lots of different ways to use them. So 30 sheets, 10 designs, 190 GSM. So that's Under the Sea. We've then got Scallops and Stuff, or Scallops and Stuff. And this one, again, matches the design on this stamp set. And this, we kind of got the vibe that this looked like scales that could go with dinosaurs or dragons or whatever, or with fish, like fish scales or a watery theme or something like that. So that's the reason why we've kind of put these together. You'll see some beautiful, see this has got a little bit of extra white space, but that same design following through. Let's pick that up. The colours on this are just beautiful. And again, 190 GSM, 3 designs, 10 of each. 30 pages, 3 each of 10 designs. So same as with all of our others. And this will work equally with the fish, but it will also work with the dinosaurs or dragons or whatever you want to call them. Now, the third paper pad is called Prehistoric Pastels. And this is like a softer version of the Scallops and Stuff, but it's got a texture to it. So I'm not sure if you can pick this up, but you might be able to see, no, you might be able to see here that it's got like a texture, like almost like a skin, rough skin texture. All the pages have got that. So what I wanted to do with this is I wanted you to be able to stamp your dinosaurs onto the paper, which is exactly what I've done here. So there's kind of different skin effects. And what I've done is I've stamped the dinosaurs onto the paper, and then I've just used white acrylic I've actually used gesso, but you could use acrylic paint, and just painted in the egg part, and you're left with some really cute dinosaurs. So that was the idea of that. Our Stamp Me paper pad has been so popular, and I know there's lots of you that don't like colouring, so I just wanted to introduce that option that you could stamp the characters onto those papers. Of course, you can paper piece, so if you wanted the shell to be in a completely different design, then by all means stamp that onto one, cut that part out, stamp this onto the other. Equally, you can obviously colour the dinosaurs, so that's just in a softer kind of option, so that's just coloured normally, but great for just stamping the characters onto these pads. And there's some beautiful designs in here, and like I say, it's just bring it up against this one. So if I just show you the difference, so that's the difference in colours there. So much stronger on the left, and the one on the right has that's the Prehistoric Pastels that have got the texture in it as well. So that's the 3 paper pads, and then to bring it all together, I wanted to show you the Sketchy Scallops embossing folder. And this is kind of what started the whole collection off. And then I decided that not everyone would be into dinosaurs, so maybe the fishes would work well with this. And then with the fishes came the otters because they were fishing. So it's all kind of spiraled, and that's why we've got this whole collection together. Now, obviously, all the elements work individually, but they also can be mixed and matched. And of course, they can be mixed and matched with older stamps and older products of ours, and also future ones coming. So there's nothing to say that you have to use these all together. I just want to show you how the embossing folder comes out. Just looks lovely. So they'd be great as scales on fish, mermaid scales, or even waves, or dinosaur scales, or dragon scales, or whatever you wanted it to be. Just beautiful. And I just wanted to show you how it looks when you use the embossing folder in conjunction with the papers. So again, they look equally as amazing. And if you just imagine that maybe with a little character on there, I just think it looks beautiful. So that's that. And then I just also wanted to show that if you take your embossing folder and emboss onto black, you can then use maybe your, so I've got the Sizzix Luster Wax here. I just want to show you, I don't get too much on there, but I'll just show you how got a bit too much on there. Obviously you take a bit more time than this, but just wanted to show you. So that's the, what colour is that? That's the Lilac Rainbow. But then also, for example, you could take the gold, wow, so quite mystical when you do it in that way. So many different ways of using these embossing folders, and making them look different depending on how you do it. If you do it onto the black like that and add wax, it makes it look quite mystical and magical, and kind of quite different to if you just embossed the paper pads, or you could just even use the white on white there. That would just be a background in its own right if you wanted it to be, and you could use it as a background for your characters. Let's just bring in another character like so, or you could even use your flowers and it would make a great background for your flowers. That was the die, the Sketchy Foliage die. You could pop lots of different ones on there like so. So many different ways, and that even looks nice just with that kind of design. So loads of different ways, really versatile, that embossing folder. And as I say, that's what kind of created the whole collection, and started us off on this line. So I hope you like those. And then there's just a couple more bits to show you. So we've got a stencil, and again, this is simple but so effective and so useful. And I've used this to create You can actually stamp through, so if you want to add extra detail rather than just inking through these, you can add stamps in. You can obviously move it and create like a build up lots of different hearts on the background. So just quite simple but very effective, and just a staple now in my collection of stencils. So that's heart stencil. And then last but not least, we have a Stamp Me cream. So we had our Stamp Me paper pad before, which has proved incredibly popular for people just wanting to stamp their characters onto a paper pad rather than colouring. And so I just wanted to bring some slightly different colours through. So the Stamp Me paper pad, the original one, let's see if I've got one here actually. Well, I've got a bit of one, but it's kind of quite well used. So the original one was kind of greys and beiges together. This one is called Stamp Me Cream because it's kind of got a warmer texture, and it's got some different kind of patterns as well. So in the same way as all our paper pads, you've got the 30 sheets, 10 designs on 190 GSM. And this one has got, so we've got some creams and beiges. Obviously you could just use these as backgrounds if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be to stamp on, but because of the colours, that's what I was thinking when I designed it. It was more for kind of characters and so on. So you can pick where you want to stamp. You know, if you've got a character like your otter or something like that, you might want to, you might want to have, because it's clear stamp, obviously you can choose where you pop it on the, you might decide that area there's more ottery kind of colour. So obviously there's lots of different possibilities. We've also got, so that's slightly more beige tone. Then we've got some that almost look like hair or fur. And then we've got some kind of textured ones. They've got bits of text on them. Got some with hearts. And the reason I've kind of done this concentric look is you might want to pick, so say for example you take your otter, or let's take your bunny for example. Okay, so with your bunny, so this is just one that I've coloured normally, but you might decide that that this part here is going to be lighter because that's where the light's coming from. So I kind of did it so that you could position, when you stamp it, you could kind of position it so, well, this bit's lighter, so we'll put that bit there. Or you might decide that this part of him wants to be lighter. So you can sort of position it and get that light and shade in one, on just using the paper pad. So that's kind of my reasoning for it. And that's why all of the pages have got sort of different tones to them. And this one's kind of got that rough skin look, so maybe more for, it's kind of quite creamy grey kind of colour, so maybe you've got an elephant you want to stamp or something like that. This one again has got text on there, we've got some splatters, some hearts, and then I think we're back to the beginning. So this is kind of like a follow-on from our Stamp Me paper pad, Stamp Me Cream. So, and that's the final thing that's in the new release. So I hope you like it. It's quite a kind of mixed release, lots of different things with obviously with our new rub-ons and the stamp sets and so on, but hopefully you'll kind of like the different elements in here. And like I say, it might be that you just want the paper pads or something just to work with some existing stamps you've got, the Sketchy Foliage dies, the rub-ons. So all these different elements should work with stuff that you've already got, stuff that's to come from us, and of course, obviously with the release that we're just bringing to you now. So I hope you like it, and I'd love to hear what you think. And so the shows again will be on the 5th week on Tuesday, so the 15th of July on Hobby Maker with the lovely Sharon, and then on our website on the Friday afterwards. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you.